Listen to me, hold on now before you scroll past this video like it's just another headline. I tell you something that's heating up faster than a skillet at Sunday breakfast, and it affects your money, your jobs, your future, whether you're in Silicon Valley or Surat, Texas or Tirupur. Steve Harvey mental stare. A just suit jacket you got, be kidding me. The world's two biggest democracies, the United States of America and the Republic of India, used to be like best friends at a church potluck, passing the mashed potatoes back and forth. Now, they're staring at each other like neighbors who borrowed your lawn mower and returned it with the gas tank empty. The Times of India, I'm talking about 50% tariffs on Indian goods entering the U.S. Half the value slapped on like it's a parking ticket and $100 zero fee on those H-1B visas Indian tech folks have been counting on. The new Indian Express plus one look at me, this ain't theoretical. This is real right now. From textiles to gems, from shrimp boats on the coast of Andhra to garment factories in Noida. That 50% tariff hits like a sledgehammer. Small businesses feel it first. Millions of jobs at risk. The Indian Express Steve Harvey sigh. Slow blink. Suit brush, and what's got everybody talking is this. Why in the world is one democratic titan tossing trade grenades at another, especially when India helped keep global supply chains rocking and American companies booming for years? The Times of India now, I ain't just talking numbers. I'm talking household impact. You've got Indians in the U.S. on H-1BS worried about $100 fee just to work. That's like charging someone a mortgage down payment for stepping onto the porch. Hindustan Times, meanwhile, people back in India are watching their exports to the U.S. almost $90 billion last year shrink like cotton in the wash because U.S. buyers ain't paying double for shirts they can get from Vietnam or Bangladesh cheaper. The new Indian Express. So before you ask me what this has to do with you, let me say this in plain Steve Harvey style. This ain't somebody else's fight. This is global economics, and whether you run a startup, work in tech, or buy groceries, someone's gonna feel it. Steve Harvey slow nod. Suit glance. Voice rising now. I want you to think about a family reunion. You got two cousins, one's got the big house and everyone's invited. The other's running a BBQ stand feeding the whole block. They used to share, laugh, help each other. But then one cousin starts tacking unfair bites of the other's ribs. Says pay up or no invite. That's what 50% tariffs feel like, and right now, it's not just India and the U.S. Feeling it. Global markets are watching, but stick with me 'cause we just getting warmed up. Next up, I'm gonna break down why this is happening, where it came from, and how it could reshape the world order like the last season of a binge watch drama. Alright, now look at me. Steve Harvey pause. Slow walk. Hand on suit button. You sit in there asking, okay Steve, but why did this thing go left so fast? I tell you why, and it ain't random, it ain't emotional, and it ain't accidental. This is power politics, dressed up in spreadsheets and press conferences. First thing first, these 50% U.S. tariffs on Indian goods didn't fall out the sky like rain. This is what Washington is calling reciprocal trade. That's government's speak for if you tax me, I tax you but harder. You gotta be kidding me. See, the U.S. has been real mad about India's long standing import duties on American products. We talkin' motorcycles, agricultural goods, medical devices, tech hardware. India's logic, protect domestic industry. America's logic, that ain't fair, partner. So instead of negotiating like two grown folks at the kitchen table, somebody flipped the whole table over. Steve Harvey, why? I'd stare, now here's where it gets serious. These tariffs didn't just hit luxury items. They slammed textiles, pharmaceuticals, auto components, gems, IT services hard, where the backbone stuff. That's millions of Indian workers and billions in supply chains. And once that door shuts, U.S. companies don't wait, they pivot. Vietnam, Mexico, Eastern Europe. Business don't have loyalty, it got memory loss. And then bam, the H-1B visa bomb. $1, 100 zeros, zero fee. For a work visa, Steve Harvey removes imaginary glasses. Squints, that's not a filter, that's a gate. And everybody knows who that gate hits hardest. Indian tech professionals, who make up the largest share of H-1B holders in the U.S. These are software engineers, AI specialists, chip designers, the very folks keeping Silicon Valley running smoother than a gospel choir. Now let me explain this like a neighborhood metaphor. America basically said, you can come cut my grass, but I'm charging you for the lawnmower, the gas, the water, and the air you breathe. You gotta be kidding me, and here's the quiet part nobody whispers loud enough. This isn't just immigration, this is economic pressure. It's leverage. It's Washington saying, we want jobs reshored, we want control, and we want you negotiating from your knees. Steve Harvey slow nod, lips tight, so what does India do? Sit there and take it. No, sir. No, ma'am. India makes what analysts are calling the Chinese checkers move. Not a hug, a pivot. India starts leaning harder toward Russia for energy, China for regional trade leverage, and BRICS, aligned payment systems that don't rely so heavily on the U.S. dollar. This ain't love, this is survival. Oil and gas, Russia offering discounts, defense tech still flowing, trade settlements increasingly non-dollar. Now America watching this like Steve Harvey's silent stare, mouth open, wait a minute. We was supposed to be the only option. And don't forget the GM crops dispute. The U.S. wants greater access for genetically modified agricultural products. India says, not so fast, food security, farmer livelihoods, biosafety. That argument been simmering for years, and now it's boiling over. Agriculture ain't just economics in India, it's politics, culture, survival. Now layer on the India-Pakistan ceasefire brokered by Donald Trump on paper, peace in reality, a pressure point. India didn't appreciate the U.S. framing itself as the middleman in a region New Delhi sees as its sovereign matter. Diplomacy is like marriage, counseling helpful if invited, messy if forced. Steve Harvey chuckle, head shake, so put it all together, tariffs, visa fees, energy realignments, security sensitivities, and two nations both saying, I'm not blinking first. This ain't chaos, this is realignment. And the dangerous part, when big countries stop trusting each other, supply chains break, prices rise, and ordinary people pay. That phone you want, more expensive, that medicine delayed, that job contract gone. Steve Harvey steps forward, voice low, but don't move, because in the next part, I'm gonna tell you what happens next, who actually wins, who loses, and what this means for you, not the politicians. All right now. Hold on. Steve Harvey steps to the edge of the stage, fixes the cufflinks. Long pause, this is where it gets real, not for politicians, not for tank folks, but for you. The person watching this on a cracked phone, in a dorm room, in a cubicle, or halfway across the world wonder and what tomorrow look like. Because when nations beef, somebody always pays the bill, and it usually ain't the people signing the papers. Let me tell you what's next. First thing, this 50% tariff situation. Don't expect it to disappear overnight. Trade wars are like bad breakups. Nobody wanna apologize first, and everybody's friends get dragged into it. Companies already shifting supply chains aren't rushing back just because tempers cool. Once factories move, they move. That means long-term pressure on Indian exporters and higher prices for American consumers. Period. Now to my Indian tech brothers and sisters in the U.S., look at me. That $100,000 H-1B fee ain't just about money. It's a message. It's saying we only want the absolute top or the absolutely desperate. And that's gonna force choices. Some folks will pay, some will go back, some will pivot to Canada, Europe, the Middle East, and guess what? Talent flows where it's respected. America built its tech dominance by attracting the world's best minds. If that door gets too heavy to open, innovation don't stop, it just relocates. Silicon Valley learned that lesson once before. History got a long memory. Now India ain't sitting still. This pivot toward Russia and China, people misunderstand it. It ain't romance. It's like when your longtime friends start acting funny, so you keep your options open. Energy security, defense supply, payment systems, India's hedging. And once a country learns it can function outside a system, it never fully comes back inside the box. Here's the part nobody likes to hear. Steve Harvey's slow shake of the head. The world is quietly dividing into economic camps. Not Cold War loud, but Cold War smart. Trade blocks, currency experiments, strategic silence, and when that happens, global growth slows, cooperation shrinks, and mistrust becomes policy. Now about that India-Pakistan ceasefire, peace is good, always, but peace without trust is fragile. When outside powers insert themselves without consent, resentment builds. Diplomacy ain't just about results, it's about respect. And bruised pride lasts longer than signed documents. So what does all this mean for the average person? It means your career planning matters more than ever. It means skills beat passports. It means countries that invest in education, resilience, and adaptability will win, not the loudest ones. And here's where I put my Steve Harvey motivation hat on. See, nations go through seasons just like people do. Sometimes you blessed, sometimes you tested, sometimes you misunderstood. But growth don't come from comfort, it comes from adjustment. If you're an Indian techie in America, stay sharp, stay flexible, know your worth. If you're an American worker, understand that global cooperation isn't weakness, it's leverage. If you're anywhere else, watch. In this, realize the world is changing, and the ones who adapt early don't panic later. Steve Harvey steps back. Big smile fades into seriousness. This ain't the end of U.S.-India relations. It's a recalibration, a loud one, a messy one. But history shows when grown nations finally sit down and talk like grown folks, progress happens. Until then, stay informed, stay calm, and don't let headlines scare you into thinking the world's fallen apart. It ain't fallen apart, it's rearranging.